Welcome to day 163 of the New Way. I'll read Luke 10:38 through 42. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Does this record from the life of Jesus have meaning for me and you today? Which is better, doing things for Jesus or sitting at his feet in worship? It really helped me to understand this passage when I heard this story explaining what it meant to be a slave in the first century. Imagine that you are a slave to a very rich man back in Jesus' time period in history. Your master says, "Sit here on the floor and wait for me to tell you what to do." Let's imagine that there are 10 of us sitting and waiting for our master's orders. Occasionally, he would call someone by name and ask them to complete a task. After a while, you get tired of just sitting and waiting, so you decide to get up and straighten the books in the bookshelf because they need it. You realize that it would probably be a good idea to alphabetize them too. So you get really involved in sorting and making it perfect. You get so involved that you didn't hear your name called by the master when he needed you for a task. Did you know that the master has a legal right to beat you to death for not being available when he called? There would be no explanation of what you were doing or why. You would be severely beaten or even killed for your disobedience. Your last order was to sit and wait. You disobeyed. End of discussion. You could also be beaten to death for touching the master's books without permission. You see, today we have no comprehension of what it means to be obedient to a master. People in Jesus' day understood. Jesus doesn't want our opinion on what needs to be done. He wants our obedience. Don't confuse doing things for Jesus with doing what he has called you to do. It's so easy to follow self automatically. We must really tune our ears to hear the Holy Spirit. Jesus said, "Only one thing is needed." What do you think is that one thing? I think the standard answer is sitting at Jesus' feet. But I don't think that's the correct answer. I believe the correct answer is being obedient to whatever Jesus instructs you to be doing at the moment. Not only do we need to be obedient to what Jesus instructs us to do and be, but we need to not impose that on others. They need to determine what is best for them. So be careful with pat answers. In his service, Dale.